But thank you nonetheless. Somebody texted me in the break, Alan, you guys were off on Bill's birthday. What did Bill get for his birthday?
I got 2 presents. I got a watch from my girlfriend, which was very, very nice. And Grandma got me an Amazon gift card. And then my parents took me out to dinner. So 3 presents, basically. That's about all.
Wait, this wasn't the dinner. This wasn't the dinner with your parents and your girlfriend.
That was the dinner, yeah.
Oh, that was the dinner.
It was good?
It was fun. Yeah, it's very nice.
That's it.
His girlfriend got him a watch.
Mm-hmm. Grandma got me a gift card.
Grandma let you watch.
No.
Oh, you're still keeping that relationship professional, huh?
Yeah, why wouldn't I?
I'm simply asking the question that everybody else is asking. I'm just saying it out loud.
But why is anybody asking that question when I
Ask
call her grandma?
Them. Everybody calls.
I think of her as my grandma.
I've had girlfriends call me daddy, but I'm not their father.
Yeah, but if it was like if I was calling her mommy or something like that, I would understand that. But I've always just thought of her as a grandma.
You ever call your girlfriend mommy?
No, we don't do that stuff.
That is a weird flip. You know, like if your girl calls you daddy, there's something about that that's pretty foxy. If you call your girl mommy, that's not hot at all. That's a strange flip to make.
I've had girls that have asked me to do that, and I don't. I will oblige them in the situation, but it's not like my go-to.
Your go-to is you're not telling them to do it.
No.
Hey, you know what I'd like you to call me?
Yeah. And I want to go. I want to call you mommy, like that kind of thing.
That's a diaper cafe thing.
Oh, those poor diaper cafe people. You know, that lady was just trying to help, and look what happens. You know, they decided that she wasn't going to get the permits up there. Somebody sent me a message on the app about that, actually.
You guys were talking yesterday about the club for adults who like to, pretend to be babies or something, run around in diapers. Could you imagine just being like an older person who happens to be incontinent and they think that it's a social club for people who have to wear adult diapers, like a depends-only type club? That would be absolutely terrifying to walk into.
What I like to do, pee-pee-poo, pee-pee-poo, poo-poo. I like to do too, poo-poo, pee-pee-poo.
I sent this to that lady, too. She was a registered psychologist. It wasn't really going to be like a social club. It was going to be a place where she could treat people who had that. And I sent her that to use as her advertising theme song. And I haven't heard back. But I'm assuming maybe she's just taking her time to really mull it over. Cavs lose last night. Can you believe it? That doesn't happen often. They lost here at home to the Orlando Magic, 116-109. Magic are a pretty good team. Cavs are back in Philly tonight to play the Sixers. That is Julius Erving. They call him Dr. J. And the 76ers. 7:30 tonight. He's still on that team, yeah?
Nope. I forgot a present that I got. Our friend Leslie made me a painting that is very lovely. She does pinup style paintings, and she's made me one before, and she made me another one, and it's cool to see her progress over the years. So that was very nice of her.
What was the painting?
It's like a naked lady.
Is it her?
No, it's not her. No. She has.
Who did she use as the model?
She's got a bunch of old pinup magazines from the 40s and 50s, and she uses those as her inspiration, and then she kind of puts her own twist on it.
And she knew that'd be something you'd like.
Yeah, she's made me one before, and she
made
asked.
me one, too.
Yeah,
you guys are getting naked lady paintings from?
Yeah.
Wow.
I've hung up in my house.
Poundcake, have you got one of these?
Not a naked lady, naked ghost bag.
Well, I've got the naked ghost bag. I mean, but I'm saying, would you?
He doesn't like boobs.
I'm not saying, but this is.
He does like boobs.
It's supposed to be art,
It is
irrespective of what his sexual orientation is. I mean, you can still appreciate art. You know, if you go see the David or some famous nude male sculpture, you can appreciate it for its art.
No.
Yeah,
really?
well,
A little mushroom cap and those two tiny
That's it.
grapes? Not into that?
Just the balls.
Yeah, all right.
Just here for the balls.
I'm just here for the balls.
That's your thing again. You're still.
I'm a blurry little bitch.
What's the matter with your
That's
camera?
made it way worse.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's worse?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you mess with the lens?
I didn't
Okay,
touch
wait, stay right there,
anything.
right there. That's as good as
That's
it's
as
been.
far as it goes. It
Okay.
doesn't twist any further than
I was
that.
going to say that's probably all it is.
Yeah.
Is the focus ring on there.
That's as good as it gets.
Well, what are you going to do?
Is everybody dressed properly for tonight? Is everybody wearing everything they're gonna wear?
No, I brought jeans to put on over my leggings. I have my scarf on right now, but I
Yeah.
also have a hat and gloves too.
I just
Okay.
have a hat and gloves and a big parka. It's not super cold tonight.
No, it's
so
only going to be like 30 something.
I don't
Yeah.
care.
I don't
It's-
have a hat.
That it changes on the hill. Like
It
it
doesn't.
Very cold up there.
When you're standing up there for a while is what
And
does it.
there's
And we're
always
usually
a long
last. Yeah.
line, and you go up there. I brought a bag. I want options because
Options.
I got gloves, hats.
you know you're
different
gonna need
types of hoodies,
those.
different types of hoodies, different types of sweatshirts. This is just a bummy outfit. I was like, I'll just throw something on and then I could put stuff underneath. So I have like compression shorts I'm gonna wear underneath. Then I have these jeans. I got double pairs of socks. Like again,
You know we're not locking you in a walk-in freezer,
don't know
right?
what
And
y'all
it's not like
capable of.
And you're gonna be
19 degrees.
And you're going to be moving around. Like, that's what keeps you warm. Anyway, you do whatever you want
I'm
to do.
gonna say I might not. I rather
You'd rather have
it
too
and not
much.
need it.
Yeah.
Than I can always take stuff off, but getting up
But
there,
you got all overheated last time. You were passing out.
I didn't bring a bag to put stuff in, so I can take stuff off. Like again, I
Well,
might
you can
not.
just put it on the bus.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I thought this would be an opportunity for Mary to be wearing her heated vest, speaking of gifts,
God.
that Bill got her.
I still
the
haven't gotten a
heated
battery
vest.
pack for it yet.
Oh.
No, I don't know if you guys know that I moved to New York City.
Do you know how expensive it is there?
It's pretty expensive.
They've got crime, so much criming there.
Parking, what a nightmare.
Oh.
No, but just being outside so much more. Now I'm like, dude, when I have to walk to work, you know what I mean? It's like a 15 to 20 minute walk to the train, depending on which stop I go to. And when it's friggin' 10 degrees in
Sure.
20-minute walk, that's cold as hell.
Mhm.
So now I'm like 32. We're going to be fine. So I just brought 2 layers. I've done like 3 layers in the past, but I just brought 2 this time.
I was reading how excited people are getting this morning that they're going to be filming the new Superman movie in Cleveland. They keep rebooting Superman, right? They had the Christopher Reeve movies back in the day in the 70s, and then they rebooted a movie called Superman. Was it Superman Returns?
Yeah, Superman Returns.
With Brandon Routh, Kevin
Yeah.
Spacey was Lex Luthor. I like that movie more than a lot of other people do. It's kind of considered to be not a good movie. And then they rebooted again. They did Man of Steel when Henry Cavill started playing Superman, and then the Justice League stuff. And now they've done another round of casting, and they're rebooting it again. They've got James Gunn directing. This Philly dude named David Corn Sweat is the new Superman. They've cast their Lois Lane. Nicholas Hoult, who's a British actor, he shaved his head to play Lex Luthor. He was Beast, right, in the old X-Men movies when they were all younger. I think Nicholas
Yeah.
Hoult was
Nicholas Hoult was
Hank
that, yeah,
McCoy.
yeah.
Anyway, and of course, Superman, Clevelanders like to brag about the fact that Superman was created here. Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster were the guys who created Superman. You comic book nerds know that. In the mid-30s, and they were both Cleveland residents. They lived in the Glenville neighborhood. I don't know where that is.
Sheesh.
Where is
Glenville's
that?
on the east side.
East.
Yeah.
East Cleveland. pretty
Like
much.
East or
Yeah.
like Bratnall?
It's like like
No, it's like the hood.
it's East Cleveland.
Yeah.
The ghetto.
Well, I'm sure it was very, very different in 1933 too. I mean, I'm sure it was.
That's when it was like a nice suburb.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it sounds like it was a Jewish community back then. So, I don't know. But they're shooting Superman Legacy, or at least a big part of it. They're going to be shooting in Cleveland. And some people have done some detective work on it. I don't know that they've confirmed it, but they've gotten a big, they get production tax abatements, all these incentives that are thrown out to bring these productions to Ohio. And so they're talking about the fact that a lot of this is going to be filmed in Cleveland, the birthplace of Superman. I don't know where that, maybe it's over in Glenville where they've got that giant plaque When we lived in Ohio City, a lot of times we'd be walking around the neighborhood and there's a plaque for, like, the Heisman House. I think the namesake of the Heisman Trophy. They have one of those Ohio historical marker plaques in front of it there in Ohio City. And they have one of those for the home of Superman. Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster both went to Glenville High School. Is that still a high school?
Mm-hmm.
Glenville High School,
Yeah.
yes. Okay, well, that's where those guys went. And they created Superman. Imagine sitting around going, we should come up with a superhero. Well, what should we call him? Well, how about, I don't know. How about Superman?
Well, at that
that's
point,
pretty good.
they didn't even have the term superhero, so
Right.
they were just coming up with a character.
Glenville High School. Okay, so it's right next to Bracknell. So kind of the near east side there, I guess. But, well, congratulations to them. The reason I mention this, though, is because anytime there's a big production that comes through Northeast Ohio, they're always looking for townies to be involved in some way. So you might end up being like an extra in the Superman movie. Or maybe they'll have some kind of Gesundheit.
Thank you. You could be one of the people he saves on the bus.
Right.
And they stop the
Or
bus or whatever.
Or whatever they're going to do. Yeah. You could play a villain named Gesundheit.
Yeah.
He's a German guy who comes in. Boy, just starts causing problems.
Just sneezing everywhere.
Your dog could be cast as Crypto. I don't know if they're going to have Superman's dog. They usually reserve the Crypto character for like when they do animated versions. There was this League of Super Pets a few years ago. I took my daughter to see that, where it was Superman and Crypto, and John Krasinski, I think, was Superman in that movie.
The Rock was the dog.
The Rock was the dog. Keanu did a voice for it. But very exciting for people around here who are still on the Superman train. A lot of people have kind of left Superman in the dust because, they've done it so many times. People are looking for the new, and Superman's the old. But every time they kind of give it a fresh coat of paint, that gets people excited. Hey, Dex.
Hey, Alan. Hey, how's it going? Hey, show.
How are you, man?
Very well. How are you? I can answer you like the Glenville stuff. Back in the 20s and 30s, it was a big Jewish neighborhood. And then it became more black after World War II. That's when my dad moved over there. When he was about 10 years old, he moved over there. So he had a few Jewish friends growing up. It's just south of Bracknell, on the Shoreway. The Shoreway separates the two. And it's just west of East Cleveland. So it's right up there between, Bracknell and East Cleveland. But it was pretty Jewish back before World War II.
Dex, I hope I'm hearing you correctly, or at least I hope that you're giving it some thought that maybe your dad might have some connection to the creation of Superman, if I'm hearing you correctly.
He might. Well, he was Superman to me, so there you go.
Oh, listen to that, Dex out
hey,
there.
Alan, one more thing.
Yeah?
Can you hit the post on Say You Love Me by Fleetwood Mac? Hate to go back.
I love that he's always got one in the chamber.
I
He does,
know.
every
Always,
time.
always.
You did say they have a house in Glenville, right?
Who?
For Superman?
Yeah, they have a.
That's
they
where
got
the, yeah.
Yeah, 'cause
IQ Dex. That's a good grab. Speaking of dogs, I mentioned Crypto, of course, Superman's dog, but it was a while back where they gave the Guinness World Record certificate to the world's oldest dog. This was a dog in Portugal named Bobby, B-O-B-I. Maybe Bobby, but who cares? The dog's dead. He's not answering to anything now. And so you figure, well, the dog's gone, but the family must have been excited to have this legacy for their dog, that it was the oldest dog in the world when it died at the age of, what did they say, that he was 25 or something like that? Well, they've rescinded that award. They've determined that that dog obviously wasn't as old as people said that it was. The family claimed that he was 31 years old, which, again, I don't think any dog has lived to be 31 years old. Even breeds that are known to live a long time, I don't think they get to 31. So I'm not sure how they passed the review process with that. Maybe they just didn't have, they were down to the wire on publication, and they're like, all right, who's got a dog? Like they're in the Guinness brewery throwing it around and trying to figure out how to fill in the spots on these records. But they have taken it away from that family in Portugal. Now the dog doesn't care because, again, the dog is dead. This particular breed usually lives maximum 14 years. But the family said, no. My Portuguese isn't very good, but it roughly translates to, no, he's 31 and 165 days. He died last October. But, he's not. Now, what I want to know is, who did they give it to? Who's the next oldest dog? And you have to submit your dog, right? It's not like these people are out there casting a wide net. It's like
They're
when
not
they
interviewing dogs that they see that look old.
But when they say, the oldest living woman in America is now in Philadelphia, like, how do they know that? Genuinely, how do they know that?
Death records, probably.
But she's still alive.
I'm saying birth certificate versus death certificate.
I guess, but who looks at that stuff and figures it out?
The Old People Committee?
Smuckers.
That's what it is, OPC.
Mm-hmm.
And Smuckers. Well, maybe it's a cooperative crossover there. The previous oldest dog ever was Bluey, ironically, an Australian dog, who lived to 29 years old back in 1939.
That's so long for a dog. Like
So
how
long.
much quality of life did they still have though? That's
None.
what I'm like. That's what makes me sad about it.
Yeah, but if you keep your dog relatively healthy, it's like a person. People think that you get decrepit the older you get, and that's not the case. I mean, if you take care of yourself, you'll be fine.
Right, but I'm saying,
And say-
so
I would
I'm
have-
get- I imagine these dogs were okay until the end, but it's still just hard to, you'll see those old dogs out there that can't really
Yeah.
move all that good, and it's a bummer.
And they're just so old.
Yeah,
They're blind in one eye. They can't hear.
Yeah.
can't hear anything.
I mean, our dog just turned 13, and she still runs around like she's a puppy. So hopefully she got a few more years in her, because you start doing that math, too, when you have a dog that's getting on in years.
My cat's going to be 10 this year.
10. A 10-year-old cat. Trouble is, that's the flip side of the coin. Cats live too long.
Cats live forever, dude.
Yeah, that's too long.
Like a 20-year-old cat is not unheard of. 15 to 20 is like average.
Yeah, that sucks, man. I think cats should be like, give them 18, 19 months max.
My childhood cat is still alive. My mom's still, she survived, 4 moves?
That got stolen too?
Nope, she's still kicking, still running the place after all these years.
Your
but-
mom's cat.
Well, it was like our family cat. My mom didn't even really want her at the time. My brother brought her home, and she's like, "No, we don't have a cat. We're not having a cat." And my mom just fell in love with her, and so we've kept her ever since. And this is when we lived in Oberlin, and we haven't lived in Oberlin for well over 15 years.
Yeah, dude.
So it's crazy.
My
cat's moved 8 times.
my ex-wife had 2 cats that one was 19 and one was 20. And they died within a week of each other. They just died last week.
Oh, heartbreak.
Yeah, it's very sad. So the 19-year-old cat passed away, and then within, I think 7 days, the other cat died.
That's sad.
Yeah, it was really sad. Just because they looked the same. They
They're
weren't
buddies.
related, but it was.
You can save on shoe boxes.
Mm-hmm. I think they got them cremated.
They put in the same urn?
I don't think so.
You got to
Everybody
buy
gets
2
their own-
separate urns?
Oh, you
They're
can't just.
little.
You're not waiting around for the next one to die.
No, but you said they die within a week.
Yeah, so you're not keeping one dead carcass for a week.
Oh, I don't know how quickly
throw
people.
it in the freezer?
I don't know. How quickly after an
Wipe.
animal dies do they immediately burn it up, or you
Within
put
a
it?
day or two, it's going to start to stink, dude.
Well, it's cold. You put it outside until you figure out what to do with it.
What a
not been that
just
cold.
empathetic guy.
Yeah,
you
he's
know?
the
It's got nothing to do with empathy. It's
Throw
got to
the dog
it's-
carcass in the
it's
garage.
Not got nothing to do with empathy. Although, correct, I am devoid of it, but it's got nothing to do with empathy. It's got to do with just the pragmatism of dealing with an animal carcass. I didn't know how quickly those were disposed of. When a person dies, they don't put them right in the ground. There's things you got to do.
Yeah, but they're also kept in a morgue.
Well, I didn't know if people had the vet keeps them in a freezer or something until they figure out what they want to do with them. I didn't know at the time. And then in the interim, you go, oh my God, our other cat died. What a boon to this family. Now we can combine their remains and save a little cash on the urns. I didn't know how that worked.
Yeah, I don't think that's how most people would ever think ever.
Well, that's what sets me apart, Bill. I am not most people.
No, you're not.
And,
not when it comes to death
anything.
and empathy. Or
yeah, I'm not. And it served me well, these 52 years. I've got to take a break. If you want to send a text, 35192, AlanCoxShow.com for all the other stuff, and we'll be back.
The Alan Cox Show on 100.7 WMMS and everywhere you